So like normally when we do these, it's just like a free flowing conversation. So there's no introduction, anything like that.
Oh,
Like it's
okay.
just we just talk back and forth.
Yeah.
So like I think one thing that we were actually talking about today that I kind of wanted to jump into a little bit more was you were talking about. I mean, like so I'll just take it back a little bit. So normally when I work with creators or influencers, like most of them have been doing it for 5 to 10 years, but you've only been doing it for 3 years, right? Or 4 years. Like
I mean, like content creation
Yeah.
only for like 2 years, really. Like before that, I just did it as a hobby, like putting out content because I liked it.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
but like, I think it's something that we can talk about because I think that it's actually really meaningful to a lot of people. Because I think there's people, like, for example, me, I'm just starting out doing this video series, and I think it's very intimidating for a lot of people because they might look at your account, see 180,000 subscribers, and just think, I can't do this, right? So, like, what do you have to say to that? You don't have to encourage people, but like, you can walk people through what you did to get to that number so quickly.
Yeah, so something I did was like I did a lot of photography in the beginning. So I went to 125K already only with photos, posting every day without doing any brand work actually because it was my hobby. So I was working at the corporate job and did it as a side job, but I didn't get any earnings. And then some brands reached out to me and were actually willing to pay, which sparked my interest a little bit. And I was like asking myself, how can I even work with brands? Because this was such a struggle back then. I didn't know how to reach out to brands or how to pitch to brands or anything. And then I really wanted to do the content creation path, and I took it seriously. Did a lot of high quality like content, just to get some case studies, kind of to pitch to other brands. Like, hey, look, we or I did something like this. I can do something similar for you as well. And the comments were super nice. I mean, I get a lot of engagement. People ask me in the DMs like what kind of products I used or how I use it. And this is more interesting for the brand, of course, if you have people commenting this kind of stuff than just getting any like empty engagement, I would say, like with trends or something, right? So you actually give out some value to the people and people react positively to that. So you can use it and pitch to other brands.
Okay. But like, this is mainly how you were going about this, but can we talk a little bit more behind the curtain? Like, when you were starting out, was there any moment where you're looking at the numbers and seeing other people and seeing how they were doing and it was discouraging at all?
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, I saw a lot of other creators working with brands. Like Brandon Wolfo was one of my idols back then. I saw like he works with Nikon, he works with other big brands and stuff, and I was like, how can I do that? I have no idea. Like how can I get there? Even with my big following, I didn't do any money from that, but other people with 20K or even less, they did a lot of money. Like, I don't know, 4 figures or something per month. I heard about that. So yeah, this was kind of difficult for me to get in there. I think the numbers don't matter actually. So even someone with 500K doesn't mean that he does a lot of money or a living out of that. Maybe he does a job and just do it as a hobby as well.
I'll put it this way, because maybe like I kind of want to understand a little bit more of what kind of person you are. There's
Yeah.
two kinds of people that look at a number, or not two kinds, but
Oh yeah.
two different directions. One is like me, for example. I wouldn't say I'm the jealous type, but I get really competitive about it. Like if I see someone and like they're doing better than me, or if I see someone and the numbers are better than me, like no matter what it is, like that I take it personally. I'm like the MJ, you know,
Oh yeah.
where
Yeah.
there's like maybe it's like
Okay,
MJ
yeah.
versus LeBron. It's like
Yeah,
MJ
yeah.
is like the guy that takes it personally. LeBron is like the guy that's like just trying to help everyone, trying to make it. I mean, and that's not like I would say it's just like taking it personally or not taking it
Oh
personally.
yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, so now you put it like that. People say you should not look at the numbers. You just should put out content, right? But I am someone who looks at the numbers and get like super sad if I think like I put so much time in that piece of content and it doesn't get a lot of engagement and stuff, and I'm like second guessing myself. Is the quality bad, or is the hook maybe bad, or is the timing bad? Um, it, it does destroy you as a creator. I know many people as well. They ask me like, "Hey, is it for you as well. Like, do you look at the numbers and do you get like sad from like putting out content with high quality, with a lot of time you put in there and effort, and then you just get like a couple views or likes? And yeah, I'm definitely like that. I also look at other people's numbers then. I look at similar content, and it's even more sad if I see a piece of content which has definitely or probably less effort in there, but better numbers. And it's discouraging also for like pitching out to brands then. So I'm getting like not that confident if I don't have the numbers to like pitch to brands.
Yeah. I mean, and I think you're a great person to answer this question because, like, for example, say if you ask someone like a Casey Neistat, his journey goes back 20 years, where you can literally remember your journey. It started after COVID, right?
Yeah.
So I guess the question would be is that when you were on this journey, what kept you going? Because most people, they either did it so long that it just finally worked out, or they try it, it doesn't work, and then they give up. So what kept you within this 2-year period, just like driving you during that time?
So before that 2 years period, before I get paid from brands, it was actually the comments from people, also the DMs, people saying I'm helping them, I inspired them because I did a lot of tutorials, I did a lot of editing breakdowns, I did lot of lives on Instagram usually, and people always said like, hey, you helped me so much with that, or this is so inspiring. Not like the usual emojis, you know, like in the comments, just the flames,
Yeah.
but genuine feedback. Not like, I mean, on Instagram, on social medias, usually you just cheer up your friends, but some of them were like really kind comments, and I really appreciate that. And I always want to inspire people. This kept me going for sure. But then the numbers, yeah, that killed me sometimes. Like, oh man, like, should I even pursue this or not? But I put out content. I got a lot of engagement back then. I remember people really liked it, so I kept going. Brands reached out to me, so that means to me I did something right because they admire my content. They saw my content, so I didn't even have to reach out to them. Some of them, not my dream clients then, but some brands at least. That means I got some eyeballs from the right people on it, so that kept me going for sure.
And within this 2-year period, because there's always a period where everyone has to go from, okay, I'm just doing this as a hobby, to, okay, I'm going to do this full time. Can you like walk us through what was that click? Because I think that's the most interesting thing for most creators is like, what is that transition, you know?
Yeah. So actually, I had another vision first. I tried to grow a company, like a production company, because I thought that was the money. And I cannot monetize my Instagram, even though I had a big following, because I didn't know this side of content creation. But somehow a brand reached out to me. I think that was back then with Hohem. And
Okay. Our friends at Hohen.
I did some content pieces for them, and they were willing to pay not a huge amount of money, but something which I felt comfortable, which was one of my first like collabs, and I was like, oh, that's actually nice. This is what I always wanted to do. I wanted the brand to pay me because they trust me, because they know I do good content, and just leave me with the product, and I would just deliver something they like, right? And after that, it just kept going, and the ball kept rolling. I did, of course, some content exchange, like barter kind of content, or product exchanges, just to get my feet in, to know what resonates well with my audience and what not, so I can pitch to the next brand, like, hey, my audience is like aspiring videographers, content creators. They really like this kind of content. I could do something for you similar to this, like a case study. And this kept me going. I was confident because I saw the numbers, I saw the engagement, I knew my content was good. And yeah, from there on, it just kept going and more brands coming in. And I kept going up with my budget because I needed that budget to pay like other second shooters and stuff like that. So my quality went up. I just go up with my prices, not like still reliable, of course, not like I think not like the big creators back then. Still,
I mean, but that's kind of what strikes me about you is that like you're kind of the guy that I feel is like not go with the flow, but it's more the second, the ladder, the LeBron. It's not like you're super driven and it's like at all costs to like get to this level. It was like it was more organic for you.
yeah.
But like on that organic process, was there anything that like you felt like you fucked up or like you made the wrong choice or you want to go back?
No, I think no. Since then, I was like, this is actually what I wanted to do, like long time ago. Like, but I never pursued it. I don't know why. So when I started with filming for companies, it was always like I did videos for them, like how they wanted it, not like how I wanted it as an artist. I couldn't like put my brush in. So, and I got a lot more freedom because the client was not standing next to me, and I can feel the breathe in my neck, the pressure. It was not the same pressure like going on a production, like at a client's place. I knew what I'm doing, the brand knew what I'm doing, and I was like completely free from where I film, with who I film, and I really enjoy that freedom as well.
Okay. But I'm just trying to think. The first time you picked up a camera was in 2019.
Yes.
Before that, you had never touched a camera.
No, not really. Not a mirrorless camera, not a DSLR camera, nothing.
But did you have any interest in photography before that, or like was it even something that came across your mind?
No, it came across my mind actually, like web designing, web development was the same for me. I just see stuff. I find it cool. Then I try to learn it, and I don't know why, but photography really clicked, and filmmaking as well. And I almost picked up my camera every day, and went out to shoot. And this is how I learned it. Like I did it very fast because I went out a lot. I watched YouTube videos and did it. Like I watched a tutorial and I went out and did it. And I didn't just binge watch videos and didn't do anything. I immediately go out and try that stuff.
Okay. I do have a question about that because as someone who had to learn so quickly, I find that for me, for example, when I watch YouTube videos, it just becomes distracting, right? Were you someone where you were like, I want to learn this specific skill, so I watch this specific video, or were you just like consuming everything and then just like,
Yeah, that's a good question. So the thing I think why I learned so fast is because I had some idols. Everyone has some idols, right? I think in filmmaking it was Daniel Schiffer for me, and I tried to copy his style, like steal it like an artist, like this book. I didn't try to like copy, but at the beginning, of course, I tried to do the same movements. I watched his videos. I analyzed the behind the scenes, which helped a lot. He didn't say everything, of course, in the videos. It's always like that. You have to cut it to the important point. But I really tried similar stuff like he did every time, and that makes it a lot easier for me to understand his style and put my style in. You know, like personalize it a little bit to my style then.
okay.
But still, people would say, "Oh, it's a Daniel Schiffer B-roll." Of course, yeah.
I mean, when you were on this 2-year path, when did you start to feel? Because I like him too, also fellow Canadian. When did you start to feel you're breaking away from just copying or stealing like an artist, and then you really started to feel like, okay, I have my own style? Because you do have your own style now. I think you would admit that too, right?
I think I kind of have my own style, but still, it's like it's the style. It's like a puzzle from different people. You know, like it's a Frankenstein style from different people. Especially the FPV POV shots are inspired from Bach visuals from Germany, and Daniel Peter Media. He does the same like Bach visuals. So it's a mix of all of that, but they only do like mostly car shots. I do it with products or models sometimes. So I think it's similar, but it's still not the same. So people won't say, I stole their style or it's their style. So it's still a signature style from my side somehow, but still not super unique, you know?
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, like everyone tries to. No one has their own original style, right? Everything is a combination of other people's stuff, and then it becomes your own style. And I think, like, even though you I think you're being modest, but also you are being truthful. It is a combination of other people's styles, but then it becomes your own style. Like, how about putting it this way? When did people start to reach out to you for your style of work, like your fans or even your clients?
Um, yeah, that's difficult to say. I don't know. Like brands, they just come and they. Oh, let's wait for the car.
Yeah, as long as no one kills us, we're good.
Yeah. I mean, brands always reach out to me. They don't especially say they like my style, but they reach out to me because of my style usually, right? So, or of the because of the engagement. So you never know. Um, Omega, for example, they reached out to me because they saw me on TikTok, which is super funny. So, and I don't know, I shot. So I worked because they are a corporate client. I didn't know if I can go full crazy with the FPV POV shots. So I did a mix, and they really liked the FPV kind of movements. So I was like, okay, I can put my style in there, which is really nice. And as I told you already beforehand, I gave it to another editor, and they didn't like the style how he cut it. So they wanted my signature. So I knew, okay, they are kind of reliable of my hand to do that.
I mean, that's actually a good segue into like the next part I wanted to talk about because I think that I'll just first say my personal experience. So like, I felt like I had a transition of my own when I was working at Xiaomi. Like when I was there, I had a boss that told me I was a perfectionist. And I think a lot of perfectionists, one, they're dicks, and two, they don't get stuff done. And I think I came to that realization is that one, I don't want to be a dick, and two is that in order to get stuff done, that's actually more important than the thing being perfect itself, right? So then that was when I started to turn inward and start to adjust how I dealt with other people. And I started to really learn how, and I think another thing about admitting that was I admitted that I'm not as good as I think I am, or I'm not as talented as I think I am. My talent comes from working with other people. And I think that was important for me and like even for what we do now with Midori, but it comes down to a lot of creators too, because creators, it's all about, it's a singular word, right? Creator, right? It's not a team. But at some point there is, when you're getting to your level, especially how fast you've grown, that you have to transition into being something bigger, right?
Yes.
And you're going through this right now, from what I understand. Like, can you explain a little bit more about this process right now? Like, you don't have to mention names or anything like that. Just like, yeah, it would be like this mother.
Yes, exactly. No, definitely. Yeah, that's very interesting because most people, I think, consumer think YouTubers, etc., do all their stuff on their own, like MKHB or like the big ones, Beast to Beast. They always have a big team behind them. Even like, for example, Speed, he's always on camera, but he has people who edits the stuff, who film that stuff. Also, I mean, I do a lot of stuff on my own, but my time is limited. I can't do everything, and I can't do everything perfect as I want to if I don't outsource it. I really try to outsource stuff, but it's also hard as a creator to give my kind of baby to someone else to like forge it, right? Because uh, I have my expectations, and if I give it to someone, I know it's not gonna be that perfect as I want to. So I still try to have everything in control as I can. I try to outsource like rational stuff, like maybe emails or something like text-based or brainstorming ideas. If I can't get any creative ideas for a big shoot, I also ask friends and stuff like that. But I don't have someone hired right now who does my stuff. I had an editor which did this super fast pacing edits, which was trending last year. But now it seems like on social media, people want to see authentic content and don't want to be like hit every second with any icons or sound effects and stuff like that. So it's also hard to like, yeah. Now I don't need that editor anymore. Maybe I don't know yet. So it's kind of difficult to say now.
I mean, but just like what you just said about, we were just talking about your style and like what you're saying now. I feel like in what you said about these other big YouTubers with their big teams, what's important is not doing everything yourself or controlling it or having your signature on it. It's being able to communicate your signature to other people. like Mr. Beast or like MKBHD, you watch his videos, you can see his signature in it. You know it's his video as soon as you see it, but it's obvious he didn't shoot it, right?
Yes.
Would you think that maybe that's your next step, is just taking that signature that you already have a good understanding of and just communicating it to your team to shoot it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm considering that. For sure, editing. I know people can edit better than me. I'm not the best editor. I know that for sure. I just know what to shoot and how to put it together for short form content. I could definitely can outsource that. I think that would be the first thing I would do because like I don't enjoy editing as much anymore. I lose a lot of time. I enjoy more going out and shoot. But the other problem is I need people to shoot, like because I'm mostly in front of the camera and I don't know a lot of people here to shoot with. Also, sometimes I give my camera to someone who doesn't know how to use a camera, which is also difficult. I don't want to like, I don't want to stress them out and say, "Hey, can you do it like 5 times, 10 times?" And look at the footage and it's still not okay. Sometimes I'm also a perfectionist, but sometimes I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine. It's for social media. It's a fast cut, so it's probably fine." So I would just go with that. But it's really hard to because I see they struggle and I don't know if they enjoy it or not. Probably it's a torture for them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like, I think like everyone always points back to Casey Neistat and like that time when he did like all the vlogs and he edited it himself. And like, I feel that's not an example. Like, no matter how much I love him, like, or love his work, I just feel like that's not an example that we should follow. And it's really about like being able to let go in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just curious because like I'm going through this too, but like at a different level, like as a company level, and then from a creator level, it just must be 10 times harder.
Yes, it is definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
I think one other thing that I wanted to talk about, because like you were just mentioning it now, like finding people in Switzerland. So if you don't know, we are in beautiful Zurich. It's my first time being here. Um,
It's my second time this year.
your second time this year. Like, and I never thought about this because I'm from a small country, Canada, but like actually the Canadian influencer or content creation ecosystem is really built up, right?
Yeah. I even know more Canadian creators than
Right.
Swiss creators, and I
Yeah.
met them in real life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So like I feel like for me being Canadian and also growing up in America, I never thought about like this whole idea of not having an ecosystem. But from what it sounds like for you, like, can you explain a little bit more what it's like being a creator in Switzerland? You don't have to like shit too much on on this situation, but like it is kind of different, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know anyone who does like content creation full time like I do. So otherwise, I would connect with them for sure. I know Switzerland has different influencers, but not creators. Like these typical influencers who does like the funny stuff and like entertainment, and usually film it on the smartphone. Don't know anything about lights or cameras. Still sad because they work with Sony. I saw, and I didn't, and their audience is not like camera
See,
people.
that's the MJ in you. You're like, I took that personally.
Yeah, yes, I did. I was like, oh man, why? Why not me?
No, I see that too, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, creators on Instagram, like doing social media content, I don't know any like, so maybe some photographers, but they don't do it like seriously. Yeah, they have a job, like a corporate job. They do it on the weekends or something, like for fun. I know some people they can shoot, but they shoot differently than me. They don't have that, I say that flow, like the fast pacing stuff on social media because they don't hang out that much like I do on social media because I'm on social media almost every day. I consume so much content. But these people usually they're not on social media like I do. They don't use it as I do. They just go on social media to post maybe stories, watch some funny videos or something, and like these cat videos and send it to friends. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know anyone like. I don't want to sound arrogant or something like, but on my kind of level of content creation, like putting out so much stuff.
So arrogant. No, I'm joking. Like, how dare you?
Yeah, who do you think you are?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, because some friends they send me DMs. They are like, or WhatsApp messages like, dude, how are you doing this? You put so much content out there. Some people even ask me like, do you still work alone or do you have a team or something? Because I put so much content out sometimes. But yeah, that's the reality. I just work alone. I do a lot of content. I enjoy to do it, so that's why I can do content really fast sometimes. Yeah.
And I guess then the natural question after that is that, like, now we kind of know the situation here. This is maybe more philosophical or just more broad question. Like, would you rather be a small fish in a big pond or a big fish in a small pond? And what I mean by that, I think you can kind of get, yeah.
Definitely the second one, a big fish in a small tank, which is definitely the case, I think, in Switzerland, because I stand out so much more here. If I go to LA or something, I would be a small fish like the other creators, because there are so many talented other creators. So I wouldn't stand out there. I heard the problem over there for photographers because models ask them, and if your fees are too high, they just go to the next one. So because there are so many, I think that's also the reason why I got to work with so many big brands, because they see me here in Switzerland, and I think it's hard to find someone here that fast and with high quality for, yeah, especially one person like kind of production.
But then, actually, I would like to bring up Causal Rec because I think that's kind of an interesting thing. Like, as you obviously have met them,
Yeah.
like one thing I think that they're doing that's really cool is they've created a community around what they made. And actually, they're not really influencers; they're more a community that they became influencers out of it. Like, was that something that you might see yourself doing in the future? Like, you're saying like there's not a lot of like creators in Switzerland or like not a lot of people like doing what you're doing. Like, then maybe is it your responsibility or your chance to create something like that, a community in Switzerland?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it would be great, but I don't know. I'm not the person who builds communities. I would say not the best person for that, probably because I'm, let's say, too lazy to organize big stuff like that. I would definitely, but I could see it to like give it to someone to organize it for me, but I'd still be there, do the workshops or something, or build the community with the necessary resources, like what they need from me to be this community, of course. So I don't mean to just give it to one person and I just stand there as to show my face, right? To have the community, but be the leader of the community, but still like give the organizational stuff to someone else, because I already did something similar in the photography scene like that, and I'm really bad at answering messages because messages come in everywhere, like emails. I got WhatsApp, I got like WeChat. People come from every side. I can't answer everyone. Sometimes I get so many DMs. I'm like, okay, let's answer some DMs now. And I answer like 3 DMs or something, and I'm tired. Like it soaks so much energy from me. I don't know why, but I'm getting so tired, like from answering messages, even emails from clients and stuff. Sometimes it's just a 2-minute reply, but still I don't want to reply anything like super easy. I usually check my writings and everything, my grammar, and then it takes so much energy. I don't know.
This is like sounding more and more like German. Now I see why you're from the German side of Switzerland. No, I mean, like, I get it. Like, it's like, and I think it's actually good that you admit that. You're not like, oh yeah, that'd be great. It's like it's not your thing and stuff like that, which is good. But it's just kind of interesting because just like, even for me, it's like after coming to Switzerland for the first time and experiencing it, I do feel that it is very unique here and the situation's unique. And I didn't think that that would influence like the creator world because I think a lot of times we see the creator ecosystem or the is like kind of a global community. Like no one knows like half the creators that they watch are Canadian or whatever. Like they don't care, but it actually does affect you on the ground here, right?
Yes, kind of. I mean, yeah. Yeah, some people even like they ask like, "Oh, you're actually Swiss?" Like, And some people say like, oh, I actually live close by, you know, but they
Yeah.
didn't know that I'm from Switzerland
Wait.
until they see my bio, because I obviously it's in there.
Yeah, but did you purposely choose to do content in English because of that? Like you just felt it would be more global, or it was like the language of social media?
I mean, definitely because it's global. This is what I did in the beginning. Like also for portrait photo shoots, I started in English because I looked up, because I don't know. I consume all my content in English. I don't usually ever consume content in German. I even play games in English. Like everything is in English. Even my smartphone is set to English. Everything. So also my German. Okay, my first thoughts were like German is a smaller audience, more niche, of course, if you have them, but also if I, as a Swiss German, would talk German, it sounds weird. It's not so clean, you know, as well. So yeah, it was a no-brainer. I was immediately going the English route for the global reach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think basically that's good. Anything else you wanted to add, or?
Um, no, I think that's all, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for this. I'm very glad our 3 cameras did not get robbed. And yeah, let's get home and enjoy the beautiful night scene on the way back.
Thanks to you too. It's actually past 12 here, so it's pretty empty. See, this is how Switzerland is on Sundays. And,
Is it Sunday? It's
but-
Tuesday.
I mean, yeah, but it's like this on Sundays as well. It's
Oh,
super
okay.
quiet, you know, like all the days, because yeah, Sunday everything is closed,
Okay.
and on weekdays everything after 8 is usually closed. Especially no, not restaurants, but yeah.
Is that the reason our cameras didn't get robbed, or is it just because it's safe here?
No, I think it's safe in Switzerland in general. It's also well lit here, so.
Damn, this was like the scariest like interview I've ever had to do. I don't think I'd ever do this again.
In China, I would do the same, I think. But
It's fine, yeah.